everybody? Welcome back to Just a Podcast. I'm here with Clara
Hi guys.
today.
Hi guys.
And as always, we're just going to jump right into it.
Awesome.
What drew you into acting?
All right. As you said, my name's Clara. And I've been acting since I was a real little kid.
Okay.
I like to attribute my very first beginnings in acting when I was the summer after 5th grade, so I was like 12, and I got to do a Shakespeare camp for kids.
Okay.
And that is really when I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. I fell in
Yeah.
love with it. But before then, I started ballet when I was like 4 or 5, and so
Okay.
I've always had some sort of performance outlet in my life, and I feel like that really helped contribute to that want and that need. And as much as I loved ballet, it definitely wasn't like my core passion. So like that was easy to give up in high school. Yeah. But yeah, I did a lot of youth productions as a kid.
Okay.
Was really active in high school. And when you hit that moment where they're like, all right, so what are you going to do with your job? What are you going to do for college? And I was like, yeah, I think I want to stay in theater. And they were
Okay.
like, are you crazy?
What do you do? Yeah.
Are you crazy? They try to talk me out of it real
Yeah.
hard. Because I went to a private Catholic high school that
Okay.
really had a lot of pride in the amount of kids that went to medical school after that, and I was not going to be part of that statistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I was able to go to a college that gave me a solid education, so shout out to Stevens College.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's just been a real joy to make my passion my work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only just 22, like very freshly graduated, so it's still a long slog, and who knows where it's going to take me in the future, but at this junction, I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when I wanted to get into film, everyone's kind of like, you want to maybe
sure?
think
Yeah.
about this?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I really
Yeah.
want to do this. And it took some convincing from my parents, but when they saw that, oh, okay, he really wants, okay.
Yeah, that was a
Got
thing
it.
for my parents too, is that like I think it took a while for my dad to get it, but like I think my mom realized pretty quickly. She was like, oh, this is Clara's thing, this is Clara's passion. If she wants to go for this, she will. And so she was always really supportive. I don't think my dad really got it till about my like senior year of high school.
Okay.
And I had a lead in a drama, and it was very sad, and he walked out of it crying, and he was like, okay, I get it now. Yeah. And so I've been really lucky to have very supportive parents, but they're also very realistic parents, and they realize that, and like I'm a realist too, like I know that the chances of me becoming like the next household name in film or like making millions off of Broadway,
Yeah.
I mean even Broadway stars don't quite make millions off of it. Like I know that I'm here for the love, not for the paycheck. And that can be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Because financial security is
It's
a real
yeah, it's
millennial
a must.
problem. But yeah, I think I'd rather be happy and have to work hard than hate what I'm doing with my life.
In terms of material,
Mm-hmm.
do you prefer like visual material or creative material? With that, I mean visual. Everything's there. It's all written for you. Or do you prefer creative material where there's more room to like improvise?
I think for me, it depends on the project.
Okay.
Because I guess when there are some scripts and some productions that like I think you have to be very focused on honoring the text and what you have right in front of you. But then there are some things where it's so open-ended that ability to do kind of whatever the heck you want with it is really exciting. And so I guess maybe a long way around answering that question is that I think my favorite projects are those that have like a solid base, a solid like
Okay.
visual, as you would say, material, but also have room for that creative development and that open-ended stuff, because I think a balance of that is where you get really good acting and storytelling that comes just as much from your performers as it is from any direction or writing underneath it. As predominantly like a theater actress, I mean, I have done film, and I'd like to expand more into that territory, but it's, as someone who's done theater first, like the idea of having an editor come in and chop up your work as they please afterwards is very kind of like, ooh, intimidating to me, because it's like, in theater you have so much control over what you're doing, because it's like linear, it's in the moment, and when it comes down to it on stage, like, you're in charge of that character's progression, and you know their whole arc, and it's all you in that one moment in time. Whereas with film, you've got all the bits and pieces, and like sometimes you've taken several shots, you don't know what the director and the editor are going to pick in the end, and sometimes I feel like, at least the film that I've worked on, there's sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, I hope this is coherent, because especially like when it comes down to it, your editor's got to make you look good.
Yeah. What films stood out to you when you were younger?
Films that stood out to me when I was younger. My household, it was kind of a constant debate between, like, are we going to watch Star Wars this time, or are we going to watch Lord of the Rings this time? And so growing up, like, definitely my idea of, like, storytelling was shaped by, like, these kind of high fantasy, sci-fi stuff. Like, one of my favorite movies, it's so cheesy, but Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. I love that one. It's like, that's sort of like, because that's also a kind of genre that I love too, like the Indiana Jones adventure. Like, and they're kind of cheesy, and they're not like high art films, but like they do appeal to that certain amount of humanity that is like here for the adventure. And I've always appreciated those. But also more like recent films, I really loved Lady Bird. Lady Bird was something I felt in my soul.
Right there.
Having been an ex-Catholic schoolgirl myself, I wouldn't say it was the same experience I had with Catholic school, but it resonated so deeply. Like, it was very similar memories, and like kind of had this sense of like, oh, I knew these girls, or like I would have been a character in the background. Like, it was so real, and I feel like that's kind of my opposite end of like fantasy high adventure stuff that I love, is that those really real pieces, the Ladybirds, and coming of age stories like that are really good. I also loved like classics like Stand By Me, Little Boys Want to Find the Dead Body. In a similar vein of Stand By Me, have you ever seen Son of Rambo?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a British film, I think, or maybe it's Welsh. It's very, like, you cry a lot during it, coming of age. But like, you know, it's about a little kid that loves movies, and he wants to make a movie about Rambo because he just like Rambo's his hero, and it's largely about him like coming to terms with his mom's like some specific sect of like a very religious household where he's like not allowed to see movies and stuff like that, and he doesn't have like a good relationship with, like, there's not a dad in the picture, and it's just all about these kids who are trying to like find some sort of solace while making a movie, and it's chaos ensues because they're kids with a video camera. And it's really sweet. Treasure Planet was another one of my favorites. Yes. It goes back to my like high adventure, like let's go. But yeah, those were. I was also a Land Before Time girl. Man, I love those dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh.
It's definitely something that stills with me today, my love of dinosaurs. My mom also was really good about having us watch the old cartoons and television shows from when
Okay.
she was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched a lot of like Gilligan's Island and the
Okay.
Monkeys. She tried to get us into the Partridge Family, but
You're just like,
I don't really care about the Brady Bunch either.
Okay.
But like, I did watch a lot of those. A lot of PBS. That's less
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. PBS.
Arthur? Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Between the Lions.
Between the Lions.
Yes. Yes. That
Yes.
show was good.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah. Yeah, I loved Between the Lions.
Yeah, it come on and I was like, you're hooked.
Yes.
Even the
And
same
there were
intro.
such good books that they had and so many good stories, and I always remember the cliffhanger,
Yes.
hanging from a cliff.
I just wanted to get off and
And you're like, oh, every time.
next
And that's why he's
episode.
called Cliffhanger.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Oh man. Memory lane.
Yeah, just like, oh gosh. What other, Ubi? Did you ever see Ubi?
Ubi
Like,
was-
they had the eyes and
My younger brother Will really loved Ubi, and I think I was just a little bit too old to be like, yes, Ubi.
Okay.
But I remember watching them because he loved them,
Mm-hmm.
and like we would make our own, and yeah, my mom liked that. Yeah, Will really liked that. I've got two little brothers.
Okay.
And yeah, that was one of their shows. That was definitely one of
Okay.
their shows. Yeah.
Did you ever see Discovery Kids?
Discovery Kids? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what was
The
on?
Future is Wild. That
The
was one of
Future
them.
is
Mhm.
yes. Yes. What else was on that show?
Kenny the Shark was on there.
Kenny the Shark, was that? Did they also have there was like the Kid Pharaoh?
Tuttenstein?
Yeah,
Yep,
Tuttenstein.
mhm.
I really liked that one. I like don't remember anything about it besides the fact that I really liked it.
Yeah.
And there was a talking cat.
Yes.
Yeah, there were some good shows on that one. Yeah, and was that did they also have like the Trading Spaces Boys versus Girls
I think so.
where they would like redecorate their kid room? They'd have a boys team and a girls team, and then they'd decorate it with like the other person's room with the stuff that they thought they liked.
I think I've seen that.
And they'd be like, I don't really know them, but I know that they like horses, and so then they just put horses everywhere, and I would look at the rooms and be like, this is cool, but I don't think I want to live in a horse-shaped bed. Like,
yeah.
oh gosh, yeah.
Time Warp Trio.
Time Warp
I
Trio.
used to watch that a lot.
I
It took
read
me
the-
a while to get into, but when I did,
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I read the books as a kid, so I knew them by the books a lot better
okay.
than the TV show.
I didn't know there were books.
The books are really good.
Okay.
If there's anybody out there with children,
You
gotta read Time Warp Trio. The books are amazing. There's a lot of them. But you learn about real history. They're really funny.
Okay.
And the show is cute, and it keeps very much like in the spirit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But as a book girl, like the books
just
were
like,
always better.
They're just good.
The books were so good. Yeah. The first one, The Knights of the Kitchen Table. Solid
beautiful.
book. Yeah. And they're like quick and easy reads, so I would say like 3rd, 4th graders are like is when they can probably read it themselves, but I think my mom was starting to read them to me when I was like 1st, 2nd grade.
Okay.
We did a lot of reading of books as a kid. I mean, I started with Harry Potter when I
Oh,
was
wow.
5. So
Okay.
like yeah. Yeah, I think my mom was realizing I was getting bored in school because I was reading faster than a lot of other kids.
Yeah.
Not to like toot my own horn, but like she was like, she's like, all right, let's start some heavier reading.
There you go. Just-
Yeah, and it definitely helped my brothers. I remember she was reading The Hobbit to my brother Will,
Okay.
and I think he was like in kindergarten.
Hey.
And it's a good book. And Hobbit is kind of designed to be more for kids than the other Lord of the Rings books. But there's definitely a scene where the wolves, you know, they're eating the ponies. And I just remember like listening to that as a little kid and being traumatized.
Oh my gosh.
Being like, oh no.
Yeah.
My mom was really good after a while where she would just fast forward through things
Okay.
that were like too spooky for us or whatever. Which I was afraid of some very simple things. Like there was a wolf in Disney's Sword in the Stone in the very beginning, and it's just a cartoon wolf, and like it's actually supposed to be very funny because it's like, oh man, this wolf is so stupid. It can't catch this little boy to eat him in the woods. But I was so afraid, and I had already seen it before. Like I knew the wolf was never ever gonna get Arthur. But watching it, I was like, oh no, oh no. And I would just be so freaked out that my mom would just fast forward through it because she's like, you're done, you're fine, you're a little baby. Not your little baby, but yeah, she would always fast forward through stuff that would freak us out too much.
Yeah. Another thing was that Snow White ride in Disney with the dark part with the trees.
The spooky woods.
And, like, the queen.
Yeah.
Like, I had my sister sit at the front. I was like,
oh.
No, I'm not sitting at the front.
No, that's totally real.
Yeah.
Even the movie of Snow White, when she, like, runs through the forest, it's spooky.
They did a good job. I was scared when I was a kid.
It's
like, when it starts getting dark, I started hurrying up to my mom, like, I don't like this.
The first time I went to Disneyland, I was like, maybe it was second grade? It might have been second grade.
Okay.
And I was really excited about the Haunted Mansion. And the moment the door shut, I was like, no! And like, it was so bad. Because my mom was with my little brothers. And she was riding with them in the little pod, and they'd be like going by the ghost, and if she saw something really spooky, she'd be like, look over there, don't look at the spooky thing. Or she'd be like, oh, those ghosts are playing tag, isn't that fun? When they're like chasing each other. And we'd just be like, oh, this is so fun, la 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 la. Isn't it silly? He doesn't have a head, la la la. And I was with my dad, and my dad was on the complete other end of the spectrum. He's like, oh, there's a vampire. Oh, it's going to get you. Oh no. Oh, and like I was sobbing. Just like my face in his lap covered my eyes. And then I felt him like start to stand up like he was going to get out. And I was like, no, don't leave me crying. And then there's like this lady attendant for the ride. Like, honey, you need to get off the ride. It's over. It's time to go. And I was just like covered in tears. And it was really bad. I loved, even as a kid, I was like, I want to go in the Haunted Mansion. And the moment we get to the spooky stuff, I was no.
It's kind of like the people in the suits. I was a little scared, like the person in the Pluto. And just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It took a while. They kind of like wave at you, and I was like, oh.
It's very weird when you think about it. Like, there's some times where I'm like, kids are way more logical than adults are, because, I mean, we at least have the, like, point of mind to be like, that is a human being in a costume. How fun. But kids are like, this is a giant dog that's talking to me, and you expect me to be happy about it?
This is, this is the question here on the podcast I usually ask most of the guests here. What eatery or eateries for you have the best bread? It's so good.
Bread?
It could be your entree.
Oh,
that's it.
The best bread? I love bread, so this is already going to be a true struggle.
Okay.
I think there's so much good bread in the world.
Oh, yeah.
This is such a hard question.
It could be like places in your hometown you always have to stop at to have the bread, or even places here, but it's no hesitation. You always know it. You gotta check it out, even if it's a little bit of time there.
There's some place, I can't even remember. It was a fancier place that I went with like a friend and her mother was paying, so we're like, yeah, let's get all the bread. Ooh. And they had like several bread spread, and there was like rye and sourdough and like these biscuits.
Okay.
And I think there was cornbread too.
Oh wow.
I can't remember what the place was.
Okay.
Normally, back in my college town, there was this nice little Indian restaurant called India's House, and back in Columbia, Missouri, if you ever go, Highly suggest. And they had the best naan in the world.
Okay.
And they like would have traditional naan, and then they also had garlic and cheese for those American students that just want garlic bread, really.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and their naan was so good. I like naan. I think naan is my winning answer. Like, if I can get some naan.
It's just right there.
Yeah. That or like some French, like real French baguette.
Are there any like focaccia bread? They give you like that loaf and that oil.
Oh, yeah, where it's like olive oil and vinaigrette or balsamic vinegar and bread is so good.
It's good.
Yeah, I got to spend 2-3 weeks in Europe right before my senior year of high school, and everywhere we went in Europe, the bread was amazing. They know how to make bread over there.
Okay.
So, if you want good bread, go to Europe.
Okay. Those that know me or you know that Romano's macaroni grills bread is just right up there. It's focaccia bread, and it's this loaf, and they put this oil on it, so it kind of has that shine on it. It kind of has like as they place it on the table.
It's a little halo, and
it's
like Romano's.
Yeah, Romano's macaroni grill.
Is it here, macaroni grill?
Yeah, there's several around here.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna look that up on my Google Maps the moment we're out of here, because
the Goodyear one is the best.
The Goodyear one.
Yeah, the Goodyear location.
Good to know.
I haven't been to the other two, but the ratings aren't good, so your best bet is the Goodyear location.
All right. I might have to drag my roommates on a little bit of adventure.
Hey
guys, I heard where there's some really good bread. What else do they serve? They got good bread.
That's all you need to know.
All you need is bread.
What about French fry places? You know?
French fry?
Yeah.
All right. So I hail from South Dakota, and we don't have a lot of like big chains.
Okay.
We're only starting to get some big things. Like we got our very first Ross in Sioux Falls, South Dakota this year. So we're catching up to the 21st century. I had Whataburger for the first time when I moved here.
Okay.
And I love Whataburger. And especially their fries. Like they're thin, they're salty, and they also have spicy ketchup.
Okay.
And like that is perfect.
Good. I still haven't been there.
I love a Whataburger fry.
Okay. Freddy's. The shoestring French fries.
Honestly, I've really been happy with Del Taco's French fries.
Okay.
The crinkle cut. I'm like, wow, this is exciting. Del Taco is also not something we have in South Dakota, so I've just been like, wow, Del Taco.
Wow.
Free shavacadoo. Yeah. And in the McDonald's versus Burger King argument, McDonald's wins on the fries, I would say.
What about... I'm trying to really go Culver's.
Ooh, Culver's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are good fries.
Yeah, they got
again with the crinkle cut.
Crunch,
and they're like, they're like soft enough, but they also have like a really good salt balance. I feel like a lot of places are missing out on their salt balance.
Yeah.
I also just love salt. I think I have a sodium deficiency with the amount that I love salt. So, Culver's. They do it good. Culver's always makes me think of high school because there was one near my high school, and like after choir concerts and stuff, we'd all go and get frozen custard, and Culver's, and it feels very Midwest to me, and so it's like, oh, home.